Hare Hare. Are we audible? Haribol.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
A little delayed because there is so much rush today. We have a lot of service pressure, meetings, this, that, all kinds of stuff going on. Okay. We shall jump. Now, Buddha. Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. A reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita. This is chapter 6 entitled Dhyana Yoga. Text 38. I think we did discuss 38. Let's see. Kachinnava Nabhaya Vibra Shatas. Somebody can repeat. Kachinnavaya Vibra Shatash. Vibra Shtash. Chinnabhram Ivanashyate Apratishto Mahabaho Vimuto Brahmana Pati. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace S. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. O mighty armed Krishna, does not such a man who is bewildered from the path of transcendence fall away from the both spiritual and material success and perish like a driven cloud with no position in any sphere? Purport. There are two ways to progress. Those who are materialists have no interest in transcendence, therefore they are more interested in material advancement by economic development. or in promotion to the higher planets by appropriate work. When one takes to the path of transcendence, one has to cease all material activities and sacrifice all forms of so-called material happiness. If the aspiring transcendentalist fails, then he apparently loses both ways. In other words, he can enjoy neither material happiness nor spiritual success. He has no position. He is like a random cloud. A cloud in the sky sometimes deviates from a small cloud and joins a big one. But if it cannot join a big one, then it is blown away by the wind and becomes a non-entity in the vast sky. The Brahmana Pati is the path of transcendental realization through knowing oneself to be spiritual in essence, part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, who is manifested as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Lord Shri Krishna is the fullest manifestation of the Supreme Absolute Truth, and therefore one who is surrendered to the Supreme Person is a successful transcendentalist. To reach this goal of life, to Brahman and Paramatma realization takes many, many births. Bahunam Janmanam Ante. Therefore, the supermost part of transcendental realization is Bhakti Yoga, for Krishna consciousness, the direct method. Om Agyana Timirandasya Chakranutamena Tasmai Shri Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityananda Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauranga Chalani Vishesha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Sari Gaura Bhaktivedanta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Yeah, we don't have much time, we have to focus on the subject. Almighty Ram Krishna, does not such a man who is bewildered from the path of transcendence fall away from both spiritual and material success and perish like a riven cloud with no position in any sphere? So this is the analogy of something that is manifested for time, for a while, and then it vanishes. No? You have some experience in life like this. Let's say you have a stock of something. What do you usually stock aside? What is usually the case? What is the substance that you sometimes keep on accumulating or amassing, stocking like this? Have any experience? No? Really, you never... Yes?
I like to read and study more philosophy. I can learn more philosophy.
No, I'm saying, is there any substance that you keep on amassing, keeping, preserving, kind of holding on to?
Yes.
What?
My school, to my degree, to my graduate level.
No, that's not the point. Okay, let's say food, some prasadam or something. Do you keep on stocking? Yeah? In tiffin. Okay. In tiffin. So like this. But sometimes you cannot eat everything, and then it gets spoiled. No, that may happen because you thought I will take later sometimes, but maybe you cannot. You cannot have so much, or you didn't maybe find some time, or you're whatever. Something may happen, and then this gets wasted, and then you cannot utilize. No. So then there is no use of that. There's no use of that, then you have to throw it. So that's a very regretful condition, situation, no? So that's not very nice. So the essence is there is no use of that. You may have something, but if you can't utilize, then it's a great misfortune. No? It's a great misfortune. Or like sometimes, just now we were in this Vadala center, no? And somebody brought some kishmish. And kishmish had so many bugs because it was very old, no? So then we couldn't use that, because fortunately we didn't just pour kishmish into preparations which we were cooking, but we always wash. And then we noticed there's so many bugs, no? So then we didn't use. So like this, somebody who is selling some product, we see they have so many things accumulated, but they went bad. And then he was thinking of selling this, and people wouldn't notice. Well, some people wouldn't notice. It would have, it would have been utilized like that. But it was getting wasted, it was getting bad. So it apparently had some substance, but it lost its substance, lost its utility, lost its real purpose. So when we don't utilize certain things at a certain time, certain frame of activity, certain circumstances, whatever it might be there, then many such kind of facilities or efforts can go in vain, no benefit at all. So that's why in life we have to make sure, that's why we are giving this analogy kind of like special in the store, and with something that is obviously very temporary, you have to start utilizing it. You can't keep it for too long time. You have to really be cautious, because it's becoming wasted if it's not utilized. So in the same way, spiritual life, if it's not utilized, there might not be any benefit of it. So it's not enough just to have knowledge. One has to start using that knowledge. Because if you just have knowledge and you didn't utilize it, then you will perish like a ribbon cloud with no sphere in position. That's important to understand. Because you may have something, but if you don't use it, and in the West there is a saying, if you don't use it, you lose it. So spiritual knowledge also, in some ways you lose it. But if you utilize it, then you don't lose it. Because you gain realization. And that's what's never lost. And that's what Krishna is going to be discussing here. He's going to be discussing it throughout Bhagavad Gita, pointing out to Arjuna that nothing is ever lost in spiritual practice. Whatever you do, even smallest endeavor, it's always on your spiritual eternal account. It's never lost. But that's a service, that's something that's utilized, that's something that it's applied, that it's never lost. But if you just have knowledge, there might be there is some benefit, but it's not as much. It's not as much. And because we don't possess the knowledge that we are exposed to, so if we don't use it, if we don't start giving it to others, then we will never possess it. And we will never be able to have benefit out of it. So for that reason, Krishna is explaining Arjuna that spiritual life, it can be like some material example, as such that if we don't properly or fully utilize something and we may lose it, but from a greater point of view, nothing is really ever lost in spiritual practice. Nehapi krama nashasti pratyavayana vidyate swapamapyasya dharmasya trayate mato bhayat. Nothing is ever lost. Even the smallest endeavor on this path of devotional service has never loss or diminution. It can save a person from the greatest fear in life. What is that? The fear of death. Nothing is ever lost. So, we don't have to fear that if I invest some time in spiritual practice, if I invest some time in coming to the temple, if I invest some time in studying, doing service, that I'm losing anything. We should never think like this, because that's not the case. We never lose anything. On the contrary, we always gain. We always gain. That credit is never diminished. It's never lost. But on the spiritual platform, we already spoke about that earlier. Let's say like there are so many cases in so many different kinds of endeavors to gain certain degree, right? That you study, and if you fail some exams and you don't get a degree, then you've wasted a lot of time and energy. Sometimes these people, they study 5 years for a certain degree, right? I don't know what is that. There's some government exams, this and that. Or CA or something, or GATE, or I don't know, they call it this GATE and cat and mouse. And so many funny things there. They're studying, wasting time, So, so what can be done, Then you don't get a degree, and then you've wasted all these years, no? You've been studying hard, you've been renouncing, so many things, you've been sacrificing so many things, no? Sometimes you don't even eat properly, you don't sleep properly. What to speak of having some nice association, what to speak of whatever. You cannot do so many, to go to some holy place or this and that. Sacrificing so much, sometimes like this, 5 years, and then they don't get anything out of it. Wow, that is so devastating, That would be so devastating. I mean, at least I would feel like, wow, I wasted 5 years of my life for nothing, That's like hellish. So then why would one do that in the first place? Why would one do that in the first? One really has to be illusioned in so many ways. To invest in something so much, but in something that it's not certain. That you cannot predict really, and mostly it's a big risk. It's a gambling. And that the chances of good outcome, positive outcome, expecting outcome are extremely small. So then why would one invest so much time and energy? So that's what we already discussed. This is something that everyone has certain fear. Let's say, okay, I practice spiritual life, and then I don't reach the goal. I don't get a degree, no? Kind of like this, I don't get a degree. Then what did I do? I might have wasted so much time. So this is Arjuna's very practical, logical question that he's posing to Krishna. He's asking, so what happened to such a man? Wouldn't I be maybe like this? You're telling me to practice this spiritual life, but if I don't reach the goal, then what is the use? Everybody you have some goal, and if you don't reach the goal, but then what is the use? What is the use? What could be the goals in life? Like you said, studying, getting a degree. What else? What other analogy analogy. I give so many analogies. You have a goal, I want to marry this girl. And you spend so much and you do this and that, so, and you don't reach the goal and everything was wasted. Then how do you feel? So materially, this is what does happen. It does happen. There's so much, and we don't gain the expected result. It's very devastating. So an intelligent man would be very, very cautious before attempting to gain something. He would make a lot of precaution that I don't waste everything in that attempt, in that process of gaining something. One would be very, very cautious. That's intelligence. But you see, nowadays we don't have intelligence. We don't think. We just embark on something. We just start doing something because everybody's doing it. And like this 5 years or something, we just start studying or we start doing so many things. We don't really think, is it worthy? Is it, I say, liable? Is it a good idea? Is it really practical? We don't think, we just become like sheep. And sheep are known as the most dumbest animals on the planet. Sheep, they're stupid, very, very dumb animal. So, almost like buffalo. Buffalo is very dumb. You've seen so many buffaloes, no? You've associated with many also. That's why. Because people drink buffalo milk, so they become like buffaloes also. Very thick, not meant for human consumption. Makes your brain very thick, very dull. Buffalo brain, So it's very difficult to understand spiritual life when you have a buffalo brain. That's why we should drink cow's milk. That's suitable for human consumption. So the sheep are known like this to be very dull. Very dull. So people are like this. They don't think. They really don't consider, how am I investing time? How am I investing energy? What am I doing with my life? 5 years, it's not a small time. I mean, if somebody tells me 5 months, I'll be really cautious. What am I doing? 5 years. Whoa. And these are the best years practically of your life. Right? Best years of your life, early 20s or something. So that's why we should be really, really intelligent what we are doing. We should start thinking. But we see here Arjuna is just very logically asking, inquiring that, okay, if I start practicing this spiritual life and I don't reach the goal, then what? Then what? What to do with this? Just like one reporter, he asked Prabhupada, Swamiji, so what about, this Krishna, everything is all very nice, but what if there is no Krishna? What if there is no Krishna? What if there is no spiritual world? What to do then? And then, what Srila Prabhupada said? He said, we are still living a very happy life. Even just like this, the whole process, the whole, lifestyle, spiritual, it's not even sattvic, it's spiritual lifestyle. The way of interacting with others, understanding everyone's position. Just the prasadam, for example, that we eat and everything, it's all way better than anything else in life that one can do. So, just that itself, it's so much better. That's what Srila Prabhupada explained. And then he said, but there is Krishna and there is spiritual world. So even just by doing it, we benefit so much. Right now, right here. So where is the question of any loss? Where is the question of not benefiting? There's no question of it. And then on top of everything, we qualified. Because everything we are doing now in the spiritual life, we are qualifying to do the same things in the spiritual world. This is a training period. Because you cannot go to spiritual world and just, let's say, breaking the party, breaking parties, jumping and say, hey, how is everything now? It's like, draw everyone's attention on yourself. No, Krishna is in the center of everyone's attention. That's what we have to learn. And we have to know how to serve Krishna. So that's what we are practicing right now. And that's where the source of all ecstasy comes from. But we know what happens. What world do we have here when everybody else wants to be center of attention? No? Everybody's competing for it. Everybody's fighting for it. Everybody tries to exploit everyone else. And that's not what we have in spiritual world. So we have to qualify. That's what we're doing this year. And we see if we do like this, our life is way better than all of these people who are competing amongst each other. Such a hellish life. So even we just do like this, we just follow Krishna's system. And that's what he said. Sahayagya Prajatishva Puravacha Prajapati. My dear Arjuna, I've given you the system. You follow this system, you'll be happy even in this life. You don't have to wait for next life or thinking or whatever. No, even in this life, you will achieve perfection. You'll be happy and satisfied. So if you just follow this system, like I said yesterday, day before yesterday, I said, India, so unfortunate. Only 30% of people are still vegetarian. No? See? So unfortunate. Why? Because people are so dull. Buffalo brain. Yeah. It's like this. They don't think. They don't think. They don't understand, first of all, how much karma they are receiving for killing other living beings. Second, how unhealthy it is for the human body to consume meat. It's not natural. If you consume meat, if you want to digest it, you have to drink alcohol. It's another sinful activity. So that's why all this sinfulness goes very nice together. So how unhealthy that is. We see, we eat nice foodstuffs, preferably all mostly in mode of goodness. We see how clear consciousness can we have, how peaceful, enlightened life we can have. So just that itself, what to speak of all other parts of the lifestyle that one may have in spiritual practice. How much better that is. No? How much better. So what is there to lose? So that's why, even if one doesn't achieve the ultimate goal, what is there to lose? Nothing. Nothing is there to lose. Yeah. And then of course, what Krishna explains, because this is in the category of akarma, which means no reaction. There's no reaction. We are performing activities which yield no reaction. They're spiritual. You just get spiritual gain. So we don't get piety, we don't get impiety as a reaction. We get bhakti, love of Krishna. No reaction. No reaction, no bondage. Means freedom. That's bhakti. What are you doing? Aram se, relax a little. So that is bhakti, this is the process, Krishna explains. And then he said, Prapya punyam kritam loka, ushutva shashvati sama, shuchinam shrimatam dehe, yoga prashto vijayate. Then sometimes later he's going to explain, he says that even if somebody doesn't achieve the ultimate goal, it doesn't matter. Still, he will be promoted to the better situation from where he can continue when one has left over. That is spiritual practice. So there's no loss or diminution. Even if we don't complete everything fully, we continue from where we left off. We discussed that already earlier. We said, how in this lifetime, we can find ourselves being attracted and starting practicing from, some particular level or intensity of spiritual practice. How does that happen? That means in past life we have already been exposed, we've been doing it. It is said in Shastra that one who is chanting Hare Krishna mantra, and that means he had already done all the yagyas, danas, tapas, went to all the holy places. It's not for nothing that one can chant. But you ask some people to chant. It's so difficult for some people. No, it's very difficult. It's not easy to start. That means they didn't have any previous exposure so much. And somebody just comes and starts doing. I've seen some kids. You see some small kids. They sing Mridanga. Mridanga. Immediately they start. It's like the small kid, 2-year-old or something. Immediately, virtuosos. Immediately they start playing. Where does that come from? Previous lifetime, no? You find some new bhaktas here that are like down, so much struggle. They can't get things together, That means they never played with them. And somebody just takes it and just, perfect. So that means in previous life, that means they had exposure, they had practice, that's where it's coming from. Yeah. Or some people just have a gift for something. They're so good in business, they're so good in this, so good in that, so good in sports, maybe some, Why? Because they've been doing it for lifetimes. That's it. So even materially, in some sense, there is some karma. There's some karma. But in general, materially, any effort in terms of result, that it's lost. That it's lost. Can you claim wealth from your previous life? Say, I was such and such, this is all belongs to me. That's it. Better look at you, what are you talking about? Nobody will give you anything. So materially there's nothing you can claim. Can you claim, oh yes, in last lifetime I had a degree in this and this and now you give me again. Like a good joke, Give me this degree so I don't have to study now. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. So that's why there's the difference in spiritual life, spiritual practice and material effort. But of course, the logical fear exists, and that's why Arjuna wants to clarify for everybody else. That even if you don't achieve ultimate perfection, still there's nothing, absolutely nothing lost. On the contrary, one always just keeps on gaining more and more and more. So Srila Prabhupada here in the purport, he explains, he said there are two ways to progress. So somebody who is interested in material promotion, material benefits, so like it says going to the heaven even, elevation to the higher planetary system. So that's one way, trying to gain some material pleasures. And then somebody who is so-called transcendentalist, and he kind of gives up this material success for sake of spiritual practice. So then may think, I won't gain anything. I've given up material, so I don't have it. No. And I started practicing spiritual, but I didn't achieve success. Then I lose both. And all my life it's a failure. So that's a serious consideration. And therefore this example of a riven cloud is given. That the cloud, when it disassociates itself with some other cloud, and it fails to join some other bigger cloud, and it's just blown by the wind. It just becomes non-entity. No use. It's just gone. So that's a serious. Arjuna is giving this example. So that's why. So Prabhupada explains that Brahmana Pati is the path of transcendental realization through knowing oneself to be spiritual in essence. Part and parcel of the Supreme, who is manifested as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So yes, we can practice spiritual life, but in these different levels, or different ways. So he says that essentially, to reach the goal to Brahman and Paramatma, it'll take many, many births. Bahunam Janmanamante. You know that shloka? Anybody knows that shloka from Bhagavad Gita? Bahunam Janmanamante. Then Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma. Durlabh means rare. Very rare. And Samahatma, somebody who is really Mahatma. Well, that's also extremely rare. Samahatma. So Vasudeva Sarvam Iti. One who knows that Vasudeva is everything. That's a powerful sloka. That's a very powerful sloka. It means if you want to understand Vasudeva, it's everything. That Krishna is everything. Who had realized this? Who had realized this? Yeah, okay. I mean, it's like I'm pointing to I'm pointing to the whole, Mumbai, let's say, whole whole world, the whole universe. How many living beings have realized Vasudeva Sarvamiti? Hardly anyone. That's so rare. And that's why it takes Bahunam Janmanam Ante. Ante means like Bahunam Janma. Janma means so many birds. Bahu means many. Many, it takes many to gain that realization. But if you practice process of bhakti yoga, aiming for Bhagavan realization, and Prabhupada explained, then it's very fast. Then it's not going to take Bahunam Janmanam. It's going to take Bahunam Janmanam for those who are yogis, who wants to realize Paramatma, for those who want to realize Brahman, Kleshodikara Stesham, Avyakta Sakta Chetisam, Avyaktam Hikati Dukham, Deha Avapyate. Those who practice impersonal path, yes, that it's very difficult. Klesha, it's very, very tough process. But if one practices bhakti, then it's very fast. So then we can be under a lot of anxiety when we practice this process, which takes a lot of time. Are we progressing? Even sometimes devotees, they come to Krishna consciousness after a few years, they say, I don't know if I'm progressing in spiritual life. I don't think anything much changed. No? Everything's very much the same. Are we progressing? We become, we start being in anxiety. Is this process working? What is going on? But what if you're a yogi? It takes hundreds and hundreds of lifetimes. It's not a joke, it's serious. It takes so much time. So many lifetimes. How much pressure and anxiety they are facing. So Prabhupada said to avoid that, then one should just understand by bhakti yoga that this is the direct method to realize Krishna consciousness. Says, therefore the supermost path, Prabhupada puts it this way, supermost path. Of course, that's what Krishna said. Bhaktya mama vijanati yavanachasmi tatvatah tatomam tatvato gyatva vishititadanantara. That's the best way to realize me. Bhakti yoga. Therefore, supermost path of transcendental realization is bhakti yoga, Krishna consciousness, the direct method. When you come here to this hall, how do you go? You go by stairs or you take the lift? Huh? Who took stairs? Okay, who took lift? Maybe you have come too early, so then you can take the stairs. Okay, I was late, I took lift. So what is easier? To press the button or to keep on walking up? So Bhakti Yoga is like this, you just press the button. You don't have to endeavor too much. And you get same result. You get same result. The process is working. Process is working like this. It's a direct process. Very fast. So that's why one will not be in anxiety of time and result if one takes to this process of bhakti. And that's what Krishna will explain later on. So we don't have to worry if we invest some time and energy, whether we will gain any benefit out of it or not. Definitely, everything is a gain. Just this process itself, because we have to understand one thing, and this is very important point now, that's why I'm modulating my voice a little bit to make an emphasis. Point is that there is no difference between sadhya and sadhana. Sadhana and sadhya. That means process and the goal. There's no difference. Just this practice itself is the goal itself. So we don't have to think that, oh, the goal is something else. No, you've already achieved the goal. You've already achieved Krishna, but maybe you don't realize that. So that will take time, but you already achieved Krishna, because Krishna's name and Krishna's form, qualities, pastimes are non-different. They're non-different. So we've already achieved Krishna. Like one reporter asked Srila Prabhupada, okay, you're chanting this Hare Krishna. What do you gain by this chanting Hare Krishna? And what did Srila Prabhupada reply? He said, more chanting. So it's not that we chant now and we will stop chanting in the future. We will achieve our goal of, I don't know what, going to spiritual world. But even if we go to spiritual world, we will chant more. We'll chant Krishna, 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 Krishna. Hey! No. We'll chant Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. All the time we'll keep on chanting Krishna. There's no difference. So that's why even this lifestyle, even this practice, this process, it's no different than the goal itself. Okay, our time is over. Any comments or questions? Yes.
What means bhakti? What is the meaning?
Okay.
I want to say someone
Okay.
to do bhakti. So means
Bhakti.
how can I say
What means
what is
bhakti?
bhakti? And who is the devotee? Here, if a person is taking the name of Krishna, that is a devotee, or is performing the service, that is a devotee.
One second. This I have to reply. Bhakti, if you want to explain to anyone, in essence, bhakti means devotional service. Service means to do something, Devotional means with devotion. It means with love, with desire to please someone. That is bhakti.
And who is devotee?
Who is devotee? Devotee is one who does everything for Krishna's pleasure. This is who is devotee. Devotion. What means devotion? Devotion means dedication, surrender. Dedication, surrender, giving up everything, sacrificing everything for sake of someone you love. So that's what, in simple terms. Yes.
The science of bhakti is abstract.
Science of bhakti is abstract. Very good at that. Who said it's abstract? It's very substantial, precise, clear.
Not see Golokdham.
You don't see Golokdham. Are you seeing me? Okay, so then
So how to strengthen based on something which is
you're seeing
abstract?
Krishna on the altar. But then what is abstract? There are devotees, there is Krishna. No? Did you taste prasada? It's abstract. So then? So what's your problem then? Okay, I can see it's getting late and everybody's hungry now. So let's stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Guru Premanande.